Good evening. Today's daf is daf Chof. We are going to begin at a brand new Mishnah on daf Yutes Amid Beis. Okay, it's the line starts with Adam. You'll see Mastis and Ketzad. Now we explained in the beginning of the Perek, if you remember, the Perek, the Mishnah brought down 5 damages that a person automatically, this damage has a status of a mud. So the Gemara said, the Mishnah said, this is shen, for animal damages with his teeth, regel, with his foot, keren after 3 times, or if keren was done even 1 time, but it was done b'reshus of the nizik, according to the Tarfon, and other mamazik, these are the 5 mu'adim. So now, the Mishnah is going to explain, we brought down, what was the Mishnah before? And we said, we spoke about regel, right? Regel or Shane? I guess. And what was the Mishnah? Daf Zayin, right? Yeah, no, the first Mishnah. Ketzad ha-regel. So we spoke about regel, right? And then we brought from Tesis, why does it start with first regel? Anyway, so now the Mishnah says Ketzad ha-shen mu'edes. The Mishnah asks, how is Shane a mu'ed? What status, what category does a shein become a mu'ed? So the Mishnah says, La'echel as har'uyala. If it ate something which is normal to eat, so then it's a mu'ed right away. And mu'ed right away, the owner has to pay a nezek shalom. So that's what the Mishnah says. Ketzad hashen mu'edes. So the answer is, La'echel as har'uyala. Then the Mishnah says, in the case of the behema, a animal is a mu'ed when it eats fruit and vegetables. So if it ate fruit and vegetables, which is very normal for an animal to eat fruit or vegetables, and now it ate someone else's fruit and vegetables, so the animal will have to pay, the owner of the animal will have to pay nezek shalom. Third case, however, what if the animal ate garments or vessels? So the halacha is mishalim chatzi nezek. He pays a half a nezek. Why? Because the animal ate things which are not really normal to eat. And since, as we explained a few times already, it's called a davar mishuna, something which is not typical, atypical. So that becomes now a tulda of keren, and the tulda of keren is chatzi nezek. Zog the Mishnah, when do we say if the animal ate something which is ru'uyah? The owner has to pay a nezek shalem is b'reshus hanizik. Is dafka when the animal went into the reshus hanizik and ate its food. So now he has to pay a nezek shalem. Aval b'reshus harabim. What if the animal went into the reshus harabim and started fressing in the reshus harabim? So the owners are potter and ganzen from the nezek, and the reason is because we brought a pasuk. Pasuk says the din of niskei shen. We learned from B'shilach Biri Bir B'stei Acher that it has to be in somebody else's field, not in Reshus Harabim. Now the halacha is like this: even if, right? So we said like this. Now, if nenes. Even though we say the owner of the animal in Reshus Harabim is potter from paying, if the animal had enough from the achila, meshalemes mashenhenes, it has to pay at least what it had, what it enjoyed. And the Mishnah explains, Ketzad meshalemes mashenhenes in Reshus Harabim. How could it be? And what's the case in Reshus Harabim that if it ate? So we say that in Reshus Harabim you're potter from paying, but you're chayav to pay what the animal had enough. So the halacha is like this: Ochla b'teich harchava. If it ate, let's say, in a place of where the marketplaces are. So now, if the animal ate, let's say, the fruit it's called a public square. This is like where they have in Europe. It's very common. They have, like, let's say in like Chinatown, these places they have like a shuk, marketplace. So if it's miteich harchava, so then Mishnah is Mashanenis. So even though it's Kivyochel like a Reshus Harabim, but it's a public square, which is the area before the storefronts, So the owner of the animal has to pay now what the animal benefited. Now,
he made damage.
What he benefited, when he makes damage in Rosh Hashanah, he's potter. Yeah, mashinenis. Mitzidi harchava, I think that's pshat. Yeah, mitzidi harchava. If the animal ate from food placed at the side of the let's say the public square, so now it's not even it's not a public way. So then Mishalemes Mashe Zika, the owner of the animal pays for what it damaged. Why? Because the legal status of that area is like the property of the Rishus HaNizik. And the Gemara is going to go into Tarichas what this means. Now, Mipesach HaChanutz, if the animal ate produce from the entrance of the store, so then Mishalemes Mashinenis, the owner of the animal pays what it derived. Because the status of the store entrance is like Rishus HaRabim. If the animal ate produce from inside the store, then Shalamis Mashazika, because it went not Kivyochel, Mamish went in the Rishus HaNizik. So just to make a recap of the Mishnah, so we have clear, so we could appreciate the.
So what difference? Why the difference could it be
between damage and mashinenis? It's a good question. So I think let's see. Okay, so the Mishnah said, just to recap, the Mishnah said, how is Shein Mu'edes? So if it ate things which it's normal to eat, so automatically it becomes a mu'ed and the owner has to pay full damage. Behemoth is mu'ed to eat pears yirokes, but ksus kelim mishalim chatzi nezek. And when do we say that behemoth mu'edes lecha pears yirokes is only in the Rishus HaNizik, when Rishus HaRabim is putter. But if it had hana, it has to pay for what it had hana. And the Mishnah gave an example. If let's say it had hana from in front of the storefronts or in front of these places, so which is all part of the Rishus HaRabim, it has to pay mashinenis. But if it's mamash in the Rishus HaNizik or Rishus HaYachid, then he pays a nezik shalom. All right. So now the Gemara says. Gemara brings up Raisa, which explains the Mishnah. We said that Hashein mu'edes la'echol es haru'uyullah. When it comes to eating, and we explain what that means, that it eats, when it comes to food, animals are shein right away, so mu'ed for shein right away, so therefore the owner will be chayav right away. Shein is a mu'ed for a mu'ed for things that it usually eats. Kate said, how so? If a behemoth entered into the domain of the one who got damaged and ate food which is normal to eat, and and drank liquid which is normal to drink, so Allah is mishalim nezik shalim, the Baal HaBehem has to pay a nezik shalim. The same thing, if an animal went into the entrance of a nizik, and V'tarfer Behem B'Achal Basar ripped apart his animal, ripped the animal in the nizik's animal. So Allah is Misham Nezik Shalom, he has to pay in Nezik Shalom because a chaya, that's what a chaya does. A chaya rips animals in order to get basar. That's his meal. V'pada she'achla sa'idin. Also, if a cow ate in the rishus of the nizik, the chatzar nizik ate sa'idin barley. Now, barley is usually food for a camel, or a chamar for a chamar.
A donkey.
What is that? Camel? Yeah, sorry, a donkey. Thank you. Or let's say a donkey ate. It's called in English vetch, which that's Michael Poda. So he didn't eat food which is shaykh to them. Yeah. The kelav shalika kasashem, or let's say a dog which was. Licking, right? What is it? Yeah. There's licking oil. Or let's say a pig which ate a piece of meat. Yeah. So the halacha is masham nezik shalim. In all of these instances, the owner has to pay nezik shalim. Why mitin shen? It's not the way to eat. Nevertheless, since b'shas atchak, if they don't have any other food, they'll eat it. So you can consider as machal maruyum la. And therefore, even if they ate it shalei b'shas atchak, the chayav to pay again mitzad shein, mitzad the av of shein, nezik shalom. So Amar Papa says hashad the amris called midi delav orcha. Now that you're saying that anything which is not the normal way to eat and v'ochla le'adei achak, but they eat it through shasat chak. They have no choice. And nevertheless, what are you saying? You're saying shmei achila. It's considered a achila. So hay shunra. So now this cat, the ochel tamar, a cat which eats dates, or v'chamra, the ochlo binisa, or let's say a chamer, donkey, which ate fish. Mishalim nezek shalim. The owner has to pay a nezek shalim. Why? Because these a cat when it's no choice, yeah. Yeah. When someone's hungry, they're hungry.
They say when they don't have bread, they eat cake.
Who's this? Oh yeah, it's expression. Yeah, exactly. Okay, now the Gemara says a story. There was a donkey that ate bread, and this bread was in a basket. That bread was in a basket, and now a donkey came and gechapped the bread. Now what happened? Ufalsi l'sala, and he started chewing the basket that the bread was in. He saw bread, he saw the basket in the bread, and he started eating the bread and eating the basket. He made himself at home. So Chayve Rabbi Yehuda l'shalom nezek shalem anam. So now, Rabbi Yehuda, who's the dayan, says that the owner of the chamer has to pay a nezek shalem for the bread because it's a shen. It's normal for an animal to eat bread. V'asala, but when it came to chewing the basket, he ruined the basket. That's a chatzi nezek, which again, the chatzi nezek is by keren, which is not the derech of a chamer to start eating baskets, which is mishuno. Fine, but this is not chazak. Bread, we're going to say, it's for sure darkei. Bread, everybody eats the darkei. Baskets, for sure not. So what did we say? The lechem, for sure you have to pay. Mitzad shen, you have to pay nezek shalim. Mitzad the basket, okay, that's already mishuna. And since it's a tool of keren, the keren of his mishuna, it's a chatzi nezek. So why are you saying that only a chatzi nezek for chewing the basket? Since it's a derech for a chamor to eat bread. So now, orchinami lefasuli sala. So therefore, since it's the normal to eat bread, it's the normal to eat a basket together with the bread. And so the answer is the ochel v'hodar palas. This ma'isa was the chamor ate first the bread, and then afterwards, separately he chewed the basket. That's very not normal. And therefore, to be able to set on that, he has to pay machatzi nezek. No, that's a question. Upas orchihu. So now you were like this is I think what your question was. Is it the derech of a chamar to eat bread? What do you mean? I'm going to ask you a question. Ochla pas ubasar v'tafshol. If an animal ate either bread or meat or a cooked item, misham chatzi nezek, he has to pay. The owner has to pay chatzi nezek mitzad din keren. So what do you see? You see from this price. In my love, the price is talking about a behema. So you see that it's not the derech of a behema to eat bread, and a chamer is the status of a behema. So why does Rabbi Yehuda say that he only is chayav a nezek shalom? Sorry. So why did Rabbi Yehuda say that he's chayav a nezek shalom? Mar says like the price is talking about bechaya, and by a chaya is not the derech of to eat bread. Behema eats bread. Chaya doesn't eat bread. So the Gemara says, how could you explain? The Bryce is talking about a chaya. The Bryce clearly says that shim ochla basar mishalim chatzi nezek. Now, if it's a chaya, then basar orchahu. It's the derech to eat bread. So my answer is the mitvi. The Bryce is talking about a case where the meat was roasted, which chayas don't like roasted meat. But you say, I can tell you another answer. The Bryce is not dealing with a chaya. It's talking about betavia. It's talking about like a deer. A deer doesn't eat not bread and not basar. But you say another answer. A tzvi. Or la'olam bebehema. Really, the Bryce is talking about a behema. U b'pseida. Now, when the bread is on the table, so then it's not the derech for behema to eat the bread from the table. And then, and if he does, so then it's mamish din mishuna. So then it only pays a chatzi nezek mitzad tulda the keren. Okay, so now, Rav Chof. Okay, let me see how you're enjoying Bava Kamah. 20 daf minute. Okay, so now Many were good? All right. So now the Gemara relates now another story. Hahu Barta, the Chazi Lifta, Apuma Dedana. There was a certain goat, that this goat saw turnips on top of a clay barrel. So there's a goat, he got excited, he saw turnips, and this it's like a lephus, it's a type of vegetable which was on a barrel, and the goat went for it. Sarich Salich. So what happened? He climbed up and went and ate the turnip. Ochla lifta v'taver l'dana. So he jumped on top of the barrel. He ate the turnip and he broke the chavis. So the halacha was chayvei Rava paskin that the owner of this goat has to pay alifta v'adana also for the bread and also for the chavis. He has to pay an nezek shalom. Now, my time. Why did Rava say he has to pay an nezek shalom? It's not the derech for a goat to start breaking barrels. So the cheda should only be a chatzi nezek mitzad keren. So the Gemara answers and says, "Kiven the urich lemechalifta." Since it is the derech for a goat to eat bread, or chenami l'sruchin m'shalek, so therefore it becomes that it's the derech for him to grab on a chavis and to start
to get to the bread. So
since it's typical for the goat to eat the turnip, it's also typical for him to climb and go up in order to get it. So therefore, breaking the keli would be mamish a din of shein. It's not a din of. It's not mishuna. It's not mishuna. Okay, the din of the behema which eats. So now the Gemara is going to bring a din of the behema which eats on top of its friend, and the Gemara says, Omar Ilfa says, behema b'reshus harabim. If you have this behema, which was in a public domain, upashtat savara v'ochla malgabi chaverta. You have an animal which was in the reshus harabim, and it stretched out its neck and ate from a sack of produce that was loaded on the back of another animal. Very typical. You have you have the behema, they're in the reshus harabim. He sticks his neck. He sees his friend has a peckle on his back, and now he eats it. So the halacha is chayeves. The owner is chayev to pay a full damage. Why is the owner chayev to pay a full damage? The cheda was in reshus harabim. We said reshus harabim. Oh, so he says gabe chaverta kechatza nizik domi, because the back of the other animal is considered like the courtyard, the nizik of the injured party, and for this reason, the owner of the animal is chayev to pay an nezek shalom because of shein. Okay, so now the Gemara says, let us say, to bring a raya to the halacha of alifas. What alifas say? Alifas says, he's chayim mitzad, so he says, let us bring this price to help his case. Hoisa kupasai, mefushalas la'chedev. Now, if let's say a person was standing, the halacha is like this. If a person was standing in reshus harabim and his basket containing food was slung behind, he had a basket of food and it was slung behind his back. And an animal stretched out its neck and ate from it. So what's the din? Chayeves. He's chayev. So what do we see from here? The kupase was mufushalat la'chedav. And now an animal came and took from him, so up to help himself, he's chayev. So what do we see from here? I see, so I have a clear brisa, like a ilfa, that he's chayev, reshus hanizik, even reshus harabim. So the Gemara says, no, you could say, Kida Omar, Rava says, Bikoi fetzes. Just like in the brisa over there, Rava says, we're talking about an animal which is jumping. So the cheda, Chanam Bikoi fetzes. Talking about that an animal was jumping and ate from the basket. And since it's a shinoi, he pays a chatzi nezek, like the din of a keren, which is chayav reshus harabim. But you can't bring a case from here that if the animal ate in a normal way,
it's abnormal. The whole situation is abnormal.
If it's if in his back long fruit, he needs to jump, he's going to pay less shalom.
Look,
This is
if he's eating normal, it's normal. It's normal. He's paying the shalom. If it's jumping around all over the place, it usually doesn't happen. Okay.
Okay. Now the Gemara says, where did Rava say this whole idea of jumping? So the Gemara says, Ahad Amar Rabbi Isha said a din, behem b'reshus harabim. If you have a behem which is eating in the reshus harabim, hocha v'achla, if it went and ate p'tura, it's patul, like any din of Rishain in the reshus harabim, which is patul. Amda v'achla, if it stood and it ate, chayevus. Now, ma'ishna hocha, what's the difference? Why, if it was walking and it ate while it was walking, it's patur? The erchehu. Since it's the derech for behema to eat while it's walking, and a shein is in the reshus harabim is patur, so the cheda the nami. So why do you erchu say that we're talking about that it stood and was eating, and say that it's patur for the same reason? Because the animals eat while they're standing. So Amarava, answers bikei fetzes. In other words, Rabbi Ishia is not talking about an animal which was standing and eating. For sure, you could be patur the bailim because it has a din. Mamash of a shein b'reshus harabim. Shein b'reshus harabim is patur. So Amda v'achla means that it was jumping and on its feet, which is not the normal way. So therefore, that's why in that case the bailim is chayav to pay a chatzi nezik din kereg, even in reshus harabim, because it has a different din. Now, boy Reb Zera says like this: Misgalgul mao. If the animal was rolling, it explains over here. The animal was, rolling food from one place to another. So, do we judge it from the place where he took it from, the food, or the place where he ate it? So, Mar says, "Hey chidami, what's the suffix over here?" He explains, "Kagain the kaima amir." You have, let's say, a chavilas kash or tevin. You have now in reshus hayachid, and the behema. So this stubble is in reshus hayachid, and you have the. And what happened? And the behema is in reshus harabim. It becomes galgav also reshus hayachid reshus harabim, and the animal kicked it. This kash or tevin kicked it from the reshus hayachid reshus harabim, and then it ate it there. So, do you judge it as a reshus hayachid because that's where it was taken from, and in reshus hayachid it'll be chayiv, or do I go? No, he took it, and here's your chavilas kash. He came and he gives a kick, and it goes into the reshus harabim, and then he eats it. So, do I look at it from where it came from, or where it is now? It's a big nafkamina. If I look from where it came from, then he's chayiv. If I look from where it went. Yeah, so now he says, Tashma, I'll bring you a proof. The Tani Reb Chia said, Masoi, if a load of food, you have, let's say, a load of food. For example, let's say you have beans or so miktsase b'finim, you had, let's say, a peckle of beans that, let's say, were standing b'finim in the reshus hayachid, the miktsase b'chutz, and some were standing in the reshus harabim. So Allah is like this: Ochla b'finim chayevus. If the behemoth ate from the reshus hayachid, he's chayev. Ochla b'chutz p'tura. So my love, what's the ched of the Bryce is dealing with? This case, a miskalgav also, that the animal kicked this sack in the reshus from one reshus to the other reshus, and the Bryce is telling you that the ones that they eat in the reshus hayachid, so then he's going to be chayev. Because he ate it. So if it was kicked, let's say, from the reshus harabim to the reshus hayachid, he's going to be chayiv, even though it was taken from the reshus harabim. But if, let's say, he ate outside of it, in other words, that it got kicked from the reshus hayachid to the reshus harabim, be patur. Why? Because he ate it in the reshus harabim. So you can be patient. The suffix of Zeda that you look at where the food is now. So the Gemara says no, you cannot bring a raya to the brisa, the ema, because you could say if the animal, let's say, kicked it from one reshus to the other reshus and Ochlan ate it, so then Amash b'fnim, what's in the reshus hayachid chayev is chayev, even if he ate it, whatever he took from the reshus hayachid is chayev, even though he ate it in the reshus harabim. And al mash b'chutz, and this that he took from the reshus harabim p'tura, even though he ate it in the reshus hayachid, because maybe you could judge it from where it was taken. I can tell you another answer. What Rabbi was talking about is in the case of to a long stock of fodder that was partially inside and outside at the time that it was consumed, and as the animal ate, the entire stock was pulled to where the animal was standing. So that's why you judge it in the place where the animal was stationed and eating it. But you cannot bring a raya from the case, let's say, of the
A
Sa'idim.
long branch that it's sticking over.
Yeah.
One shows to the next.
You put yesh kansar. This is social diet. This is social diet. She start to eat from here, and everything is like rolling down.
Okay, let's.
Oh, look, so.
Define whether the shus adam is the shus yachid. The cows don't know the difference. Like,
Yeah, well, the cow.
If I put something on the edge of the shus adam, my edge of the shus adam, I'm liable myself.
Right.
So
So psheta, yeah.
You know where I'm missing this whole.
You'd be surprised. Animals have an instinct to know where the home is, where the boss is.
People keep on walking.
No, but we spoke. Yeah, Yitzi, we spoke yesterday, but we brought these different cases. Let's say when an animal, let's say, damages a keli, right, and that keli goes ahead and damages another. So we said if the animal gives a direct damage to the keli, so then the owner of the animal has to pay nezek shalim. That keli now damages another keli, so then he's chayv nezek. So what's a practical example? It'd be like a car, yeah.
But if I'm driving in a watching portal on a road upstate with gravel, I can expect
100%. Yeah. If pebbles start shooting and hits rocks, you could be chayiv, yeah. Mitzat tzreidus, yeah. Yeah.
You're driving on a dirt road.
Today, so when we say the share, it's a car, 100%. Okay. So we say like this. Ochlak sus, if the animal ate garments, let's say, or the vessel, the owner has to pay only half of the cost of the damage. So the shot is like this. In what case is the statement said? Is it said when the animal ate them while located, let's say, b'reshus hanizik, but if he ate in the reshus harabim, the owner of the animal is potter in gansen. So he said that's this question. The question is, ahoya. In which case is the Mishnah talking that he's potter for shein and reshus harabim? Is it only in regards to the shein if he eats a kedarke, or even in the case of the seifa that he eats the ksus or the kalim, let's say not in the reshus hanizik? Okay, so he says, Amar Rava akula. Rava says on everything. My time, what's the reason? Because he says, Kol ha-mishana u'bo'acha v'shina bai. He says like this. If anyone who deviates from the normative behavior in his actions, and if another came along afterwards and deviates from the norm with regard to this actions that the first person had, then is pater. So in this case, the injured party left his kalim or vessels in the reshus harabim. So now he deviated from the normal behavior. And therefore, the owner of the animal that acted not typical and ate that, he'll be pater from chiyuv, from liability. Shmuel says, lo yishanu. And when the Mishnah says that a person's pater from liability for damage caused in reshus harabim, that's only b'peis v'irakas avoksus v'kelim chayeves, right? So we had. Now, v'chein amar Rish Lakish akuli. V'az Rish Lakish tatamei amar Rish Lakish shtei paris b'reshus harabim. If you have, let's say, two cows in reshus harabim, achas revutz v'achas ma'aleches, one which is kicking, like, and one is walking. Bata ma'aleches b'revutza. So the walking cow kicked the prone cow. So the owner is pater from liability. However, if the prone cow now kicked the walking cow, then chayeves is minini chayev. So we see that Rish Lakish accepts this principle that anybody who's mishana from the normal behavior, if another came along afterwards and deviated from the norm with regard to the action the first one had done, and thereby causes damage to him, the one who causes the damage is pater. Why? Again, because it's atypical behavior from a cow to lie down in the public in the reshus harabim, even if the walking cow also behaved atypically and kicked the prone cow, its owner is still going to be pater. Rabbi Yechon says, they only taught us bepeis v'irakas. Shall we say Rabbi Yechon leslei the Rish Lakish? Shall we say that he doesn't hold even in the case of shtei paris? The Gemara says no. Lo'elam islei, be'emes he holds. Lo'elam islei. He says this. Ksos in regards to garments of the Inshi Deman Chiglim Umetapchi. It's common for people to put their cloaks down in Rosh Hashanah in order to rest. And so this is not considered not a typical behavior. Al behema, but in regards to the behema, lav orchi, it's not the norm to lie down in Rosh Hashanah. And since this animal behaved in not a normal manner, no chiyuv is on the owner of the walking cow for engaging in a not a normal behavior or kicking the prone cow. Now the Mishnah says, "Ve'im nanis," if the animal derived benefit from eating another produce in the Rosh Hashanah. So although the owner is putter from paying for the damage it caused, nevertheless the owner of the animal has to pay b'minas mashalemus. The Gemara says, "V'kama," how much is the payment? How is it calculated? So Rabbi Amar Demei Amir, Rabbi says it's the value of the amount one would pay for an equal quantity of stocks or hay or straw. This is because the owner can claim that had his animal not eaten the produce, he would have fed it inexpensive straw. So the animal's benefit is limited to the cost of the straw that it would have eaten. Rabbi says no. Demei Seidim Bezil. If the animal ate, let's say, barley, so his owner has to pay the value of the barley, as this is a typical animal food, but based on the cheapest price available in the market. He says clearly the owner animal pays only the value of the stalks of straw. He says, if the animal derived benefit from eating another produce, the owner of the animal pays for the benefit that it derived. If it ate, let's say, a kav or kabayim of grain, and in him to shalom demand, we don't say they should pay their value. The based on estimates how much a person would pay in order to feed his animal typical food fit for it to eat. Even if this particular animal does not usually eat that food, because the owner gives cheaper food. Therefore, if the animal ate barley, which is a typical animal food, even though it does not usually do so, the owner has to pay compensation for the barley that was eaten as the cheaper marketplace. Therefore, if the animal ate wheat or another item that is detrimental to it, ptura, it will be pater. Now, so basically like this. In the connection to this klal, we said that if the animal derives benefit, the owner of the animal pays the benefit that it derives. So the Gemara says like this. Rav Chisda said to Rav Bar Chama, you were not with us at night within our boundary when we raised shilas concerning exceptional manners. Amar, so Rama Bar Chama said to him, my mili mal yoso, what are the exceptional matters that you're discussing? He said, if a person now, he resides in another person's courtyard without the knowledge of a person. Now we're going to get into Zenon of Zenon. It's a very interesting sugya. Yeah, a squatter. Because he has to pay him rent for living there. It doesn't have to pay rent for there. So the Gemara says this. What are the circumstances? If you say that it's a case concerning a chotzer, that does not stand to be rented out. If the squatter, like you said, would have not lived there, would the owner now keep it? If the owner would keep it vacant, so what happened? And now and the man squatted there is someone who not have rented out living quarters because he has other places available for him for free. So then it's zenana, zeloi nena, zeloi chaser. So then it's a case where this one, the squatter, does not derive benefit, and that one, the owner does not suffer a loss. In that, the squatter can go elsewhere. He doesn't need this place. So it's zeloi nena, zeloi chaser. Rather, we're talking about that he has a parking lot, he has a chaser that he plans to rent it out. The gavra over the maker, and the man squatting there would have rented other living quarters. So then it comes out zenena. This squatter now derives benefit. This one suffers. Why does he suffer? Because he can't rent it out. It's a squatter. So we're talking about a case. We're talking about a courtyard that does not stand to be rented out. The gavra over the maker, but the man squatting there would have rented out other living quarters had he not squatted on their property. What's the halacha? Matzi Amar Lei. Is the squatter legally able to say to the owner of the courtyard, "My chasarta, what loss did you cause you? You wouldn't have rented out anyway." Or perhaps the Beis Din is legally able to say to the squatter, "Aha, ha isnis, you derive benefit from the property. As by living there, you save the money you otherwise would have had to pay in order to rent out different chutzner, and therefore you have to pay me while you benefited." So Amar Lei, so Rav Bar Chama said to him, Masnisi, it's not a new shayla, it's discussed in the Mishnah. And the Mishnah already provided this answer. So the Gemara, so Rav Chisda said, "Hey, Masdisen, to which Mishnah are you referring to?" So Amarlei, Rav Chama said to him, "The Chitishamishli, after you serve me, I'll tell you." Shkal Sudra Krachle. Rav Chisda took hold of Rav Chama's scarf and he folded it, which is like an act of service. So Amarlei, Rav Chama said to him, "Im nanis meshalemes mashaninis." This is the Mishnah. If the animal derives benefit, so the owner of the animal pays the benefit that the animal derived. So what do we see from here? That a person who derives benefit has to pay for the benefit he derives, even if the nizek is not entitled to payment for his loss. Okay, so now Amar Rava says, okay, we'll have to stop. Okay, we're a little bit behind, but it's fine. We'll do this tomorrow.